What it do, baby? Welcome to Vegeta State Army. Thank you guys for liking, watching, and subscribing. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm really excited because I think that the Bergamo reboot is really good. I want to just share it with you guys. I think it has an insane ceiling. How does it sound to have a deck that denies your opponent from swinging and denies the effects of anything that's 4 energy or below? Now, a lot of decks nowadays need a 1-drop to swap into the 3-drop to bring out the SR, or to play a 2-drop to X-Evolve and then X-Evolve into the big one. One thing Bandai is doing now is they're being really good at making their most powerful cards have to be attached to a certain archetype. And a lot of these archetypes start off with a really powerful 1-drop or a 2-drop, right? Like, for example, like Trunks Cheetah plays a couple of 1-drops, a couple of 3-drops. SS4 GT plays 4 drops, right? The ones that you combo and all that shit. These cards aren't going to have any effects, any skills. Any, like, Android deck is going to play little cards. This deck just says those cards do not have any effects. Also, a lot of abilities in the game nowadays are like, when this card attacks, yeah, you're not going to be able to attack if you get the lock going in Bergamo, okay? Now, I think that it's really important to play. I don't mind net decking. If you net deck, when you look at the best 3 decks in the game, Gamma, SS4, Trunks Cheetah, whatever, I think that's necessary. You should be playing the best decks, because I think you should be playing the best. You should respect yourself enough to play the best deck, why wouldn't you? But I think it's also good to have a balance of trying things that, even if nobody likes it, that you think is really good. You know, recently I'm playing Green Broly Extra Card deck, and I think there's something to it. I'm taking a few L's, yeah, my local friends are always teasing me about it, but I think there's something to this game that's really fun about trying these leaders, especially when there's an insane ability to them, and Bergamo brings that to the table, okay? When this leader attacks, it draws 1. The permanent says that all your Universe 9 have Warrior of Universe 9, so they have no specified cost. At the end of the turn, you can play a Universe 9 2-drop for your hand, and then grab 1 up to your life and take it up to your hand, which is good. It's self-awakening, and it plays a free battle card. This is really good. Playing a free battle card is sick, dude. Like, and then when your life is at 4 or less, you can switch up to 2 of your energy to active mode, which is great. When you're getting the lock going, you can just, you know, you can go right to Awakening and untap 2 and just play something else. When this card attacks, draw 1, and at the end of the turn, choose up to 1 Universe 9 with an energy cost 2 or less in your hand and play it. You still have Warrior of Universe 9, so no specified cost. And in permanent, if you have 1 Lavender and 1 Basil in play, no need for Bergamo because he counts himself. Your opponent's leader card can't attack this card or Unison cards. Listen to the UI theme song going on right now. Yeah, that's the sound that's going to be playing when you get that lock going. And in this deck, it's going to be really easy to do that, right? Now, on the front side, auto, at the end of your turn, you may choose up to 1 Universe 9 card with specified 2. Play it. If you do, add up to 1 card of your life. I wonder if in the Awakening turn, you can set off this auto, Awaken, and then swing, draw, and at the end of the turn, so you're going to be playing 2? I just realized that. Holy shit. So this so this deck, it's really easy to get the lock going, okay? But let's just go into the deck, because it can be a little bit inconsistent if you don't build it right, okay? So I do want to show you guys, I think there's something to this leader. This is my build, okay? This is I'm going to go to Creator View and just show you guys, okay? It's a hybrid, okay? You can do a couple of things. You can have the lock going like this by playing a bunch of 1-drops, right? That are going to be played for free. There's a Lavender 1-drop that you can play that has a cute little ability with removal. That's fine. You know that you have the 1-drop Basil, Fatal Rampage, a staple in yellow. It draws 1, and it's really cool. If you have enough cards in rest mode, it's like a 19k dual attacker. It's like a really fucking cool card, actually. But what makes this deck good is that you're going to be playing these 1-drops for free, by the way. Like, there's like so many cool ones, like Bergamo, Unstoppable Colossus. It's a one drop. It's like it's gonna be a 20k. Or you can count on the best card in this deck, Bergamo, Guidance of an Ace. This is the card that makes this deck snapped. When this card is played from your hand, first of all, you draw a card. Now, it's a 2-drop, so you're going to be playing this for free. It doesn't have unique, so you can play multiple. I mean, obviously, it has a version of Limit 1, so don't worry about the stacking part, but you are going to be playing him. You can play several so that it's a pain in the ass to get removed. He has Barrier, though. If your leader card is Universe 9, with their turn, when you play a Universe 9 card from your hand, like without a skill, as long as the energy cost of him is less than or equal to your current energy, you can play it by tapping 1 less energy. So if you have 4 energy, you can play a 4-drop for 3, is what this card's saying. So this deck is playing your cheap cards for free and your expensive ones for a lot cheaper. Not only that, this archetype is full of cards at ramp. Like, you can play this guy basically for 2 energy, right? And then ramp, this guy can ramp up to 2 energy. So you can ramp 2 energy. Or you can just play Comfrey. When you play him, you choose up to 1 Universe in your hand with an energy cost less than or equal to your current energy and play it. So this, after the ramp, you can play guys really cheap. This is not what I'm doing in my list. I'm just telling you it's something you can do. All of the cards you can play in this deck are insane, by the way. And remember, all of these cards will cost 1 less energy, right? You have a free blocker. You have a really good cantrip. You have, if you want to go into the yellow route, you can play this card. When this card is activates its blocker skill, your opponent must choose 1 other card to switch it to rest mode, or if they don't, you draw 1 card, and then if there's a Universe 9 in play, you can negate the energy exhaust skill in all areas. So there's a lot of things you can build around this deck. It has energy exhaust ignoring, it has like ramp, you can rest your opponent's shit, you can like, I don't know, you can play big bombs, you can play whatever the fuck this deck has everything. Now, my version though, I'm gonna get to it real quick. It's a hybrid, okay? You can play the really cheap Universe 9 cards to get the locker going quick, or you can play the more expensive ones that aren't that expensive. Remember, the promo reduces the cost of cards. So this 4-drop is the way that I go about it. The 4-drop, when you play it with Deflect, you're gonna tap 3 for this card. You're gonna play 2 blue Trio of the Dangers with a different cost and a different name. So you're going to make this card either a Basal, Bergamo, or Lavender, whichever one you don't have, and then you're going to bring out this guy from the deck. What he does is, when he's in rest mode, all of your Trio of the Dangers have Barrier, so they're fucked. They can't remove them. Also, your opponent can only attack this 4-drop. They're battle cards, I mean. So let's keep count here. Their leader can't attack your leader, and their battle cards can only attack this 20k, and every time this 20k is attacked, it gets 5k for the turn. Bro, all of your shit has a barrier, and guess what? If you have Dangerous Triangle on board, their 4-drops and below do not have skills. Even on-play abilities don't count. Like, if they play a card like Duo or something, I don't know, like something that on play KOs something ignoring barrier, it doesn't go off because Dangerous turns that off. Any 4-drop or below is turned off. So again, you can get Dangerous Triangle off like turn 2 if you draw the absolute nuts. Okay, I don't think it's consistent, but if you're at home watching and you build the deck and you play a bunch of 1-drops and you build it that way, you can get the Dangerous Triangle lock immediately and fuck your opponent up. Now, is it as consistent? I don't think so. I think the best way to play this deck is to make it like half of the deck just blue good stuff, right? And then the other side, Universe 9. The question is, what blue stuff are you playing? And what Universe 9 stuff are you playing? You can play the blue-yellow stuff, you can play the little stuff, you can play the big stuff, or you can play a hybrid. I'm playing like a hybrid, right? You know what else you can do? You just forget the whole U9 bullshit and just play a couple of these 2-drops that just so that the leader can just free play some cards that draw. You know how cool it is to have a leader that's just blue, it's good on taps 2, and plays Basal Fatal Rampage for free? You know what I mean? And it's a really good blue-yellow deck. You know what I mean? And you're playing Bergamo. Really cool. I like it. You know what I mean? So the avenue of approach that I'm taking is the 1 and 2 drops that I'm playing are going to be Basal Fatal Rampage, Bergamo Guidance of an Ace, and then I'm waiting, right? Because remember, Bergamo lets me play my cards for cheaper. So I'm waiting to turn 4, tap 3 for True to Dangers, play my True to Dangers Bergamo, and then play one more blue, either Lavender or Basal. These cards aren't great, but they're going to be played for free anyway, and you need to play a blue one. These are the only ones. They're just names, basically. I'm just going to keep them on board and not swing with them, to be honest with you, right? It doesn't really matter because at the end of the term, I'm going to play a better Lavender anyway. Or, I'm sorry, a better Basal by playing Fatal Rampage. And even if you don't, even if you don't have one of these, it doesn't matter because the 4-drop counts as all 3. So you're going to be counting him as one of the ones you don't have. So it really doesn't matter. Right? It really doesn't matter. How are you going to build it? Are you going to build it with all U9? Half blue good stuff, half U9? What blue good stuff are you playing? What U9 stuff are you playing? Like, my blue good stuff is Power Reclines on Gohan, Piccolo the Infiltrator with Pan, obviously, really good dual attack, draw power, good removal for blue, Shield Army Reinforcement, right? Kaba Saiyan Pride because he wants some early awakening. I like the critical version of this card because if your opponent's taking themselves down from 8 to 6, like they usually do, they're going to be drawing those cards anyway. I'd rather deny them of those cards with critical, right? Realm of Gods is really good nowadays, especially against red. I think Baby Hatch is the SCR for this deck. Now the super combos. So Rel's cool because she works on turn 5 as a super combo. She's live really early, but you need Vegeta sometimes to bottom deck if you ever draw the 4-drop. Now just remember, if you play a 4-drop, right, and the next turn you play another one, just so you're tracking, it makes it so your opponent not only can't swing at anything but this card, but can't swing at all. Because if Trio to Dangerous Bergamo's on board, your opponent's battle card must attack this battle card. But if there's 2 of them, the ruling says that they're going to be contradicting each other, making an infinite loop, because this 4-drop's going to say, you can only attack me, and this one's going to be saying, you can only attack me. So it's going to make your opponent's battle cards be unable to attack at all. Right? And then remember, your opponent's leader can't swing at your leader, and they're going to have to swing at this, and as soon as they swing at it, he's going to be 25k. So if you negate that first one with a fucking token negate, it's going to be 25 immediately in barrier. They're going to swing again, block, now it's a 30k with barrier. You know what I mean? So, and then obviously Baby Hatch comes in handy in that situation. It's important for me to bring up, though, some of the there's so many things this deck can do. If you're playing against Gamma, or if you're playing against Yellow, maybe, this card is so good. You bring this in against Gamma, against 21, whatever. When this card is on board, your opponent cannot place cards in their energy area. So you're locking them out of charging for the rest of the game. Not only can they not charge, but they can't place cards in their energy. So you know how Gamma picks up 3 energy and puts it back? They cannot do that. They can pick 3 up, but they can't put 3 down. This is disgusting. You can cheeseburger them, and when they pick up their 3 energy, you can just say yeah, you can't put the rest down. You shark them. I wouldn't, but it's just funny. You can do that, and he'll have barrier because the other 4-drop's going to be in play, right? Absolute Respawn is really good. Desperate Measures is really good. I'm just showing you some cards you guys can sideboard. Desperate Measures is better because you can use it early against some early cards you can play, but Absolute Release Ball is better later in the game because he's a free counterplay. Black Smoke, you always want something like that on your sideboard. Kale's really good in this deck because it removes barrier. This deck has the ability to ramp, and if it does, you can get to Kale rather quickly, and it gives you some barrier removal, which is very big in this current set. And it's a pretty good finisher. Dirty Burst is really good. Riot Javelin is a really good extra card negate, which isn't good ever unless you bring it in against like red, right? Because what it does is it negates the attack for 2 energy, and then you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less, ignoring barrier, and return it to the owner's hand. This is awful, I think. But against like unisons, like if you're playing against red and they rush attack you, alright, fuck you, Riot Javelin. It's not going to go back to their hand, it's going to remove it because it's a fucking Z card, right? Did I say unison before? I meant Z card. Against any deck that plays a unison that you don't like, just Riot Javelin and just remove it, right? Krillin the Cunning against 21, Sensu Bean, whatever. I also have Burnish Bond, Borgos. If you're playing the Unison package in this deck, remember, Unisons are relatively protected in this deck. So if you do run a Unison package, there is a Universe 9 Unison. There are other Unisons like Hit. But if you do, you can run God's Black Kamehameha. It is the best of the 2-drop extra card Unison counterplays. Every color has one where it denies the on-play of a 2-drop or a 20k, or, you know, sometimes they measure it by power or by energy cost or whatever, depending on the color. The blue one's the best one because it draws one, and it bottom decks a 4-drop or less instead of being played. And, you know, you have to drop 2 cards from hand, but it does draw a card, which is really good. We already talked about Realm of the Gods, Broken Seal, yeah, really good card. But what makes this deck good as well is the introduction of Z decks made a lot of janky decks really good. Because, especially blue ones, I think, because like, if your deck is missing a finisher, or maybe you're missing barrier removal, or you're missing some hand control, or you're missing critical with removal, or you're missing ramp and blocker, or you're missing a self-awakener, now you can have all of those things at your disposal at any point in the game without clogging up your main deck. So you can build a Universe 9 deck, and like whatever you don't have that you're missing, if you're missing a finisher, there you go. Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, Godly Spirit. Now you have a triple striker with barrier that's gonna just squeeze the life out of your opponent every turn because Vegito's insane. You have some barrier removal in Beerus, some Goku's great, Cell's removal. Now Android 21 is really good because she ramps you. And that Z stack, you can always Z stack the Vegito and give her barrier, or give her triple strike or whatever you want. But she does take a keyword from someone. Might as well take the barrier from Vegito. That's why we run 2 Vegitos, by the way. But 4-drop, 2 energy, you get to ramp a little bit, really good. Surmounting is obviously really good because it self-awakens. But what do you guys think about the deck? You can go to card database. You can build it yourself, and maybe you like the one with a bunch of 1-drops. You get the chain going quickly, right? Maybe you want to play it all Universe 9. Ramp with Row. Maybe you want to ramp with, what the fuck is the squid or whatever the fuck this is? Maybe you want to play Comfrey. I don't know, bro. What's your, fucking Bergamo? That is an option. You can play the blue-yellow version of this deck, and it's sweet, bro. What's his name? There's a card I really love in this deck. Where is it at, though? Oh, there it is. This 5-drop is so insane. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, and you have a total of 2 or more blue and or yellow cards in play, you can play this for 2. It's a 20k deflect double strike. Your opponent cannot activate counter skills in response to this card's attack, as long as it's attacking a unison or battle card. Come on, bro. When this card removes a marker from a unison's marker or whatever by attacking, you choose up to one of your opponent's unison cards and negate its skill until the end of your opponent's next turn. This is so stupid. But it's cool. I don't think that it needs, I mean, I don't know, I think unisons are pretty dead now, but it's an option. Did I talk, I don't know if I talked about this, but yeah, this 5-drop against, oh, I did talk about it. So yeah, dude, you have options in this deck. What do you guys like? What when you guys run this deck, how would you run it? Would you run it with a bunch of 1-drops? I think the best way to run it, though, is a hybrid. I like a hybrid of blue good stuff on the low on one half, and the other half, a couple of 1-drops and 2-drops U9, and a couple of the heavy ones, meaning the 4-drop yellow and the 4-drop blue one. I love this deck. What do you guys think of it? Do you like it? Do you not? Have you tried it? What do you think of it? Do you think you can, make a little return? Do you guys want to try it? By the way, all these cards are like 5 cents. There's no reason not to buy them. Like, they're fucking cheap as fuck. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear.